Hey y'all, this is Dina. Welcome to my channel. I am back with my next craft fair idea. This will be number 52, and this is a smaller tote bag that you can utilize in your craft fair. Y'all, I've sold these before. They sell really well. I think that this is going to be a pretty fun project. So I wanted to get this going. The fabrics that you're going to need is you're going to need a lining fabric. It measures 10 by 12. This is a small bag. And then you're going to need 2 pieces of interfacing that measures 1 inch by 20. 2 pieces of fabric, 5 by 21. This is going to be for our straps. We're going to make a pocket. You need two of them at 12 by 14. And a main fabric again at 10 by 12. And 2 pieces of fusible lining. I have been following this lady. I can't remember the name of her channel, but she is absolutely amazing. She doesn't talk in her videos, and I'm thinking that maybe she's over in like China or something like that. So some of her bags that she's made, they come out in centimeters. So I had to kind of change it up and make my own, but I watched her technique, and I've made some like this before, but I hadn't added a pocket. I take that back. I did add a pocket on a big one that I've done, but anyway, I got the idea to add a pocket on these small bags by watching her video. If I can remember the name of her channel, I'll link it below. But anyway, yeah, she seems like she really knows a lot about sewing. Y'all, first of all, what do you think of this beautiful fabric? I actually got my fabric at Walmart. My husband and I went and did some grocery shopping. My mother has been very ill and still is ill, but she is home with my dad. But anyway, we haven't been grocery shopping, like really grocery shopping in like 3 weeks because we've been in and out of hospitals and this and that. So we've been eating way too much takeout. So we made it to Walmart to pick up our necessities and buy some groceries. And I happened to walk past the fabric section, and my husband walked past and looked at me, and I looked at him and went, I need this. And he just looked at me and grinned. He does not care. So anyway, I thought I wanted to make a tote bag out of this one. This is going to be a smaller version. So I hope you like this. But anyway, let's just get started. I'm going to start by making my straps. Okay, so let's work on our straps. This measures 5 inches wide by 21 inches long. I have a piece of interfacing that has some fusible glue on one side. It's like a paper like. This is a Pellon. Most of the interfacings I use most of the time are Pellon. So all you're going to need to do is put the glue side down, and you're just going to kind of iron it down along a center crease, because I had already ironed it in half, and now I'm going to iron this interfacing. Then all you're going to need to do is iron it toward that center, just like this, and turn it around. I'm going to iron this toward the center. And then fold it in half again and iron it down really well. Straps are really easy to make. I like to make mine a little bit wider. And there you go. Now I'm going to take it to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew a seam all the way around the open side, back down the other side. So let's get that done. Okay, so I've got my machine set at a 3.0 stitch length, and I am using a cotton fabric, and I'm also using, well actually the thread I'm using is a dusty pink, and it is polyester, I believe. So I'm just gonna put my needle down here. I'm gonna use my down feature, and I'm going to just go nice and straight down the side till I can seal this up. I have had people ask me what kind of sewing machine I use. My sewing machine, I've had it for probably 4 years, and it is a Singer Modern Quilter. It has been a workhorse, it really has. I got it at Joann Fabrics. Sorry I did not get a video out yesterday, but I went down to see my mom and my dad and my nephew. He'd come into town to help out with my mom and dad, and so we were so grateful. But yeah, I was trying to clean my craft room yesterday, and I just kind of felt like I needed to go and see my mom again, so I went. Y'all, you never know if you can never see that person again, so you should always go. I told my husband, I think I need to go see my mom again. He said, let's get ready and go. Another 200 miles round trip. We made it back safe and sound. But I got to see my mom, and guess what, y'all? She smiled. I'm so proud. My mom is such a strong person. She just went through so much. Okay, one strap down, one strap to go. I'm gonna get this one zooming right on through. Make sure it stays pretty close to the edge there. Okay. And that one more side, and then our straps will be complete. And then you want to give your straps another quick press. I press everything when I sew. Multiple times, y'all. It just looks better. Okay. As y'all have plans for the 4th of July, leave me a comment below and let me know. If you do not live in the United States, do y'all celebrate something like we do on the 4th of July for Independence Day? Okay, so I've got 2 straps. I'm going to give them a quick press, and then we'll be able to move on and start getting ready with the other parts of our bag. Okay, y'all, so now we are ironing our batting to our main fabric. So this is the glue side. As you can see, there's glue, and this is the fuzzy side. Put the glue side down and just line this up on top, just like this. You can use any interfacing you want. This is just what I had on hand. I like to kind of play with it, make sure I'm getting it nicely in the center there. Iron it down really good. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, I got one piece over here I saw pop up. You could baste around the sides, but nah, I just iron it really good. Then hold it in place. Okay, so there we go. We're ready to roll. Okay, so now we're going to attach the handles to our bag, and I've already got this one ready. So what I did is, this is the main part of the fabric, and what I did is I measured over 3 inches and down 3 inches, and that's where I will be attaching my bag. So if you see, if I put my ruler right here, that's approximately 3 inches on each side, and then you want to put it 3 inches down. So 3 inches, and then this is down 3 inches. And we're just gonna sew it. I'm just gonna sew like maybe a square right here to attach it, and I'm gonna do that for both of my handles. Okay, so I'm gonna go down about maybe a 1/2 inch or so, and I'm going to start by sewing straight across. I'm going to use my down feature, then I'm going to turn my bag, and I'm going to sew it straight down. I'm going to turn it, I'm going to go back over it, and then I'm going to go back up to the top. And to reinforce it, I'm actually gonna back stitch right here. I want to go right back over the stitch I already did. So let me make sure I'm right there on it. Okay. So I want to get as close as I can to the stitch that I already put. So that one is a double stitch, y'all. Let's back stitch right here. And now we're gonna move to the other side. Now our handle is attached to the one side. So we're gonna do the other side now. And then I will do the other one off camera. Okay, so we're gonna start over here again. I'm gonna just put this underneath here. I'm going to go down about the same amount of length down from the edge and do the same thing. I kind of want to go over where the stitches already are. So I'm trying to go as close as I can. Turn around and go straight back up to the top and get this string off. It's yelling at me, y'all. Just want to make sure. Oh, I turned it too soon. Got about maybe 2 more stitches. Now let's go back over. Reinforce right here. Okay, so that's how we do add the handle to one side of our bag. I will do the other side off camera, but there's our first handle, y'all. Okay, so let me get the other one done, and I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, y'all, so now I'm going to sew the pockets onto the sides of my bag, because I've already got one completed, but here's the other one. This piece of fabric measures 12 by 14. 12 is the width, 14 is about the height. I have taken it and I folded it in half on the 14-inch side, and I ironed it in half. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew a seam all the way down, just like a top stitch, even with the edge of my presser foot. And it's just gonna top stitch this down just to give it some, stability, so it won't like move around or anything like that. I'm just gonna sew this up. I actually started filming this video on Sunday, and then we had an emergency with my mom yesterday. So I wasn't able to finish filming it until tonight. So she is holding her own at the moment, so continued prayers are appreciated. So I'm going to get this finished for you, y'all. Okay. I like to trim off my threads. Now that I've got those done, you can see what it looks like right there. Hopefully you can see that. So now let me just show you what we're going to do next. So now what you're going to do is you're going to lay this over the side of your bag. This is the one side of your bag. Here's the handles already sewed on. And you're just going to lay this over, kind of line up the bottom of your fabric, even with the bottom and the sides. And I'm just going to use my Clover Wonder Clips and clip this in place so I can get it up on my machine. And one more. So just clip them in place or pin them, whichever's easiest for you. That way nothing moves. And now what we're going to do is we're going to sew back stitch here, sew here, all the way around up to here, and back stitch again. So let's get back to the machine. Okay, so I've got it on my machine, lining the edge of my bag, my panel, up with the edge of my pressure foot. And I'm going to sew down and then back stitch. Your pockets get a lot of wear and tear, so you want to make sure you got some that you back stitch. I'm just going to sew all the way down. Get down toward the bottom. I'm going to move my clips. Now I'm going to turn it. I like to kind of guide with my hands to try to keep it as straight as I can. I'm going to turn. Make sure your pocket's straight. Sew up this other side. Get to the edge, don't forget back stitch. Wouldn't even be a bad idea to back stitch a couple of times just so it holds it in place. Okay, there we go. Now we've got both of our outside panels prepared, and now we can get ready to put them together. Let me see if I can clip off these strings. And this is what it looks like, y'all. You can see. So there's the pocket. If you want to like sew a seam up in here to make it two pockets, you can, but I'm gonna leave mine open. I kind of like it like that. Okay, let's move on to the next step. Okay, so I've gone ahead and added a zipper, or actually got it clipped to the top of my bag. So I'm gonna add a zipper to this one panel first before I proceed any farther. I want to go ahead and get this sewed down. Make sure you've got your handles pulled down where they won't get caught up in the edge of your zipper. Make sure the zipper is teeth side down, so that way then when you're attaching it and it flips over, it will be the right way. I am using a 22-inch zipper, but this is what I had on hand, but it's okay, you can cut your zipper. Now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, and I'm going to slowly sew a seam down here to attach the zipper to the top. Okay, so now I've got this on my machine. I've actually put my zipper foot on, and I'm going to try to slowly sew along the edge, not going on top of the teeth of the zipper. So here I go, slowly, because I want to try to get my zipper nice and straight as I can. If you make it a little crooked, I've told you before, it's okay. It's very much okay. It will be just fine. It's really helpful to have a zipper foot. That way then it's easier and you can see the edge of where the zipper is. I just find it a little bit more simple. Okay. I'm coming toward the end. Get to the end. I'm going to back stitch there. And there we go. One side of our zipper is in. You can go ahead at this point if you'd like and add the top panel if you like. I just went ahead and wanted to go ahead and sew the zipper on so I have it on there nice and straight. But I think what I'll do is go ahead and I'll put the panel, the back, the side panel on there as well, or the inside panel. That way then I'll have it all ready to go. So let me grab that. Okay, so I've got my lining panel here. I put it pretty sides together, and I went ahead and lined it up with the other part of my bag. Now I'm going to start by sewing right over here very carefully. Back stitch. I'm going to use my down feature. If you have a down feature and you don't use it, I really find it very helpful. Okay, so I'm going to line up this panel with the edge of the zipper. I'm just going to try to keep it as lined as I can. Try not to have too much movement of things. It could happen. Don't sweat over it, y'all. It's okay. I actually started filming this video on Sunday, and I said, okay, I'll finish it Monday. Well, we had to drive to East Texas again, so I'm grateful that my mom is still with us today. But, and I'm grateful I get to finish my video and finish this sweet bag I'm making. Okay, I'm gonna back stitch, and there we go. Some of you probably might wonder, do you have a, sorry I dropped my scissors, y'all. Do you have an automatic cutter that cuts your thread? Yes, I do. Sometimes I don't always like using it. And so sometimes I kind of forget I have it because I'm not always liking it. Because sometimes, you know, it clips the thread so short, and sometimes it'll get caught up in there and I'll just have to start over. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. So that's looking pretty good. So we've got this panel over here. And we got, this is the side. Our handles are looking great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go give this a quick press, and then I'm going to quickly top stitch right along the edge there to hold it in place. So I'll be right back. Okay, got it ironed, clip the edges all together. I'm going to slowly start top stitching right along the edge, about 1/8 of an inch. I think I need to change my needle. Let's see how this goes. Sometimes you gotta change your needle so you don't, because it might have got bent a little bit. So if you're new to sewing, change your needle frequently. Okay, and there we go, friends. Got it all stitched down. Looks good. Now I'm going to attach the other side of the bag to the zipper. Okay, so you can see, here you go. Look at that. Looks pretty good. And yep, it looks okay on the outside, on the back, and the inside. Okay, so now we're going to attach the other panel. So let me get that going. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to lay this on top, line it up, and you want to put pretty sides together, okay? So I'm gonna line this up just like I did the lining fabric, but you're going to line this up with the other side of the zipper. You see it's right there. So you wanna line it up over there, and you're gonna line this all up going down the whole edge of the zipper, clip it in place, and just sew a seam on it. Okay. And we're getting there. I like to do this slowly. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna sew it like this because I like to see over here what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew this, and then I will sew the other piece on. Well, actually I'm not. Okay, y'all, I'm just gonna sew it like this. I think I'm gonna keep it like this. Okay, so here I go. I think I need to put my zipper foot on the other side. Sorry about that, y'all. Gonna line this up, and off we are going to go. Sometimes it takes me a sec to make sure I'm lined up really good. Make sure I got my threads going underneath. Just like this. Using my down feature. Gonna try to go along the edge here, holding this in place. You can go ahead and sew the lining and all this at the same time, but I just don't want too much movement, and I want to make sure I get it sewed correctly. So that's why I chose to do it this way. Okay, so there's that one. See what it's looking like. Now we are attached to both sides. So now let me just get this other piece of lining fabric in here, and we will be looking good. So what I'm going to do on the lining fabric is I'm going to take it and I'm going to line it up pretty sides down, and there's the lining fabric. So pretty sides together again, line them up, clip them down, and sew a seam all the way down to the other end, where the other end of the zipper. Make sure you keep those handles back out of the way. Just like this. We are more than halfway done. I know sometimes these kind of sewing videos take a long time. I'm sorry, but in order for us to make some kind of creations like that, we've got to just be patient and just work real hard on this. So don't give up on it. Never give up. Okay, here we go. Let's get this sewed down. And I'm going to put this under my zipper foot. Okay, and I think that, there we go. Okay, I'm going to do a little back stitch there. I want this to stay on pretty good. Make sure the edge of your fabric is light along with the zipper. I'm going to keep it going right there. You don't want to be too close to the zipper teeth because you wouldn't want anything to like get sewed up inside, or you know, where it gets caught up in the zipper. I hope that made sense. Okay. Down, do a little back stitch. Now we have our pieces all lined up with the edge of our zipper. We're close. We're getting close, y'all. We're getting close. Okay, so let me show you what the next step might be. Okay. I went ahead and I top stitched along the edge of this other side. This is what our bag is looking like. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take the pretty sides of the outside of my bag, and I'm going to join them with this side. Now make sure you open your zipper about halfway. That's very important, because you don't want to like zip your bag up closed and then you will have a sewed together bag. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin these all the way around, even to this side, and I'm going to sew all the way around, leaving an opening at the bottom of my bag about 3 inches. And then that will be my way to turn it inside out. So let me get that going, and then I will show you how I sew it together. Before I put it under my sewing machine, I wanted to show you I've pinned it all the way around. I'm going to leave an opening right here at the bottom. So make sure that when you're sewing your zipper, that the teeth is kind of going down in the bag. Make sure it's not like, see how this one kind of goes down. Make sure that's the way it is, because you don't want your zipper poking up. If you're going to have it lay flat, you want it to go down. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, sew it all the way around. Okay, got the bottom. I always start at the bottom part of the bag, or the lining part. I'm right down here about in the center. I'm using my down feature, and I'm going to back stitch, because you know, whenever you're turning, you have a little bit of pull on your seams and you don't want them to come apart. So I'm just going to sew this all the way down, holding my corners. You get to the corner, pivot. I'm going to start sewing all the way up. Move your pins as you go. When you get up to your zipper, slowly go across your zipper. I'm going to go ahead and remove both pins that's right there, and slowly go across my zipper. I've had someone before say, I didn't know you could cut a zipper. Yes, you can cut the nylon zippers. I normally do not use like metal zippers. I don't think I've ever used a metal zipper. Okay, I'm trying to keep my seam on that seam I already sewed when I sewed the pockets and all that together. Make sure it's still looking good. Down here to the corner, turn it. I wanted to make sure I got it even as I can. Sew it across. Move your pins as you go. Into the corner, coming down the last side over here, making sure we got everything looking straight. Move my pins. Another one right here. Coming to the end, y'all. Hope you've been patient with me. Hope I haven't lost you. This is going to be a great outcome. Okay, remember, slowly across your zipper. Okay, now we're almost home free. I'm moving this. Let's get it going here, y'all. I think I've had a little movement, but you know what? It's on the edge of the lining. It's inside. It's going to be just fine. Last little seam right here, y'all. Okay. Back stitch. And there we go. Now, before you go turn it inside out, we want to box our corners. And if you watched my other tote bag video that I made about 2 months ago, you will know how to box the corners, but let me quickly show you how to do that in case you didn't know. Okay. So what we need to do now is you're going to just take your hands, put it up inside the opening that you left, and you're going to do this for all 4 corners. I'm going to show you one, and then I think you'll understand what to do. Just kind of line the seams together, and you're going to just what you're going to do is kind of hold it out just like this, and you're going to measure it. And I think I'm going to do a 2-inch. I'm going to do it 2 inches. So hopefully, let me move this up here so you can see it. So I've got it in the center, and each one of these lines on my grid here is that's 1 inch. So I'm going to do it 2 inches, and I'm going to do a 2-inch box corner on each corner. So let me make sure I got this all nice and straight. Pin and in place. You don't want any movement. Just kind of pull it apart. Like I said, you're going to do the same thing on all the other corners as well. Okay, so now that you've kind of got it where it looks like a point, you're going to take your zipper, make sure it's lined up, and like I said, I'm going to go up 2 inches. So I'm just going to put my ruler up here on the 2-inch. And an easy way to do this too is if you line up this center seam with maybe a grid on your ruler, and that is a great way to be able to line it up. So that's kind of like the bottom of my the point there, and I'm just going to use a marker, and I've got some let me see here, trying to hold that in place and get this out at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to use this. This is a marker that actually, once I iron, it will go away. It's on the lining and on the inside anyway. I'm not worried. But just measure over across your 2-inch across the line, so it's up 2 inches. And that way then you'll know how wide it's actually going to be. It's 1, 2, 3, like about 3.5 inches in width across. Now we're going to do that on all 4 sides. And then after I get those ready, then I will show you how I'm going to sew. And then I'll do all the rest of them off camera. And then we'll be able to flip this inside out and see the wonderful results of our hard work. Okay, so let's get this one going. Get it lined up. Get my thread. I'm going to hold it in place with my fingers. Sorry if this is in the way, y'all. Just like this. Use my down feature. I like to make sure I back stitch at these as well, because you have a lot of pull going on and you might load up lots of things inside your bag, and you just want to make sure that your bag is going to be a secure bag where nothing will tear and break out of there. So it's straight across, back stitches this other side, and we go. Now I'm going to do the other 4 corners. I'll be right back with you, y'all. Okay, my friends, it's the moment of truth here. Got the little strings I need to get off of here. I've got all 4 of my corners all sewed. I'm going to trim it off about maybe 1/2 inch from that seam. Just trim each side. That way then you don't have the extra bulk. Let's do these corners. 1 more, and then we're going to flip this inside out and see how it looks. Okay, so let's see what it looks like, y'all. I'm real excited. Okay, pulling it out. Don't pull too hard. You want to make sure you don't pull any seams. Should be okay, but just in case. Okay. This looks good. Looking good. Okay. So I'm going to poke in here with my fingers, and I'm going to get all my little corners all poked out. How darling is this, y'all? So cute. Got a little string there. I'm gotta go and pull out. That one looks good. Now I'm gonna poke out my lining corners. It's like this. Make sure it's all lined. Now all we have left to do is sew the bottom up. You can hand stitch it closed. To me, it's inside the bag, so I just sew it closed with my machine. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this to my machine. I'm going to sew up the bottom, and then I will iron it and show you the end result, y'all. Okay, y'all, got it ironed the best I could. I could not be more thrilled with how this turned out. It turned out as awesome. Look at the inside. Oh, got a string right there. Let's get that off. I'm just so excited about this. I cannot wait to make some more. I think that this little tiny bag is a great addition to craft fair. I will have like different kind of tote bags and so forth in my craft fair, and I'll have a couple of these. I love the colors. I love how they turned out. As you see here, the side seams turned out really well. It looks like they matched up really well. So I could not be more thrilled with how it came out. It came out so nice. Look at the bottom, y'all. Nicely boxed in the bottom. And yeah, and it sits up. If you made something like this and maybe you just use some insulated stuff where you could have the lining inside, where maybe you could use it as a lunch tote, that would be great also. Or just a little tote bag like this. You've got your pockets on the front. You've got a pocket on the back, and oh my goodness, y'all. It is wonderful, wonderful. I could not be more thrilled how this bag turned out. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. Sorry it took me a little time to get this out to you, but I hope that, yeah, I hope that maybe you'll give this bag a try. But yeah, pretty excited the way it turned out, and I guess I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.